Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this Friday, December 19th, 2014. This is the 27th episode of Gurus in Training. I do this hangout every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. My name is Barry J. Solomon, if I didn't mention it. I want to congratulate you all for showing up to this webinar tonight. There are so many other places you could have been tonight. It's about 7 days until Christmas. Everyone's in the Christmas holiday December spirit. And I am happy that you have decided to invest this time with me tonight, Barry J. Solomon, with Praying Guru Man. Also Barry J. Solomon. Oh, I love that. I just love it. Using your mind to create massive riches. That is the title of tonight's hangout. I want to start off with a quick story. Back in January of 2014, I went to an event with our company. It was my first event, and I had no idea how I was going to get there because at the time of the event, I had no money. So it was 2 weeks before the event was going to start. And I started to ask myself, how can I get the money to make it to this event? I know that I will have a personal transformation. I know that it will change my life. I know that it will change my online business. Now keep in mind that I had just got in the company in December. And 2 weeks after that was the event was coming up. And so what I came up with was a title loan. I got a title loan on my vehicle. And it was a journey getting that title loan. I needed $1,000 to make the trip back there and back. That was what I needed. And I went to these title loan places, and I went to 3 places, and they all said, one place said they would give me $300. The other place said they would give me $400. And the final place that I went to that day said it would give me $500. And so I was still a little bit short. And I said to myself, I'm going to give it one more day. I'm going to try one more place. And so I did that the following day. I was on my way to check my mail from my mailbox. I have a mailbox, one of these mailbox places. And I went to this title loan place. Well, the mailbox place was closed. So I went to this title loan place down the street, and it was closed. So I went back to the mailbox place, and I was going to wait until they opened. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I saw this place that said title loan, and I quickly turned up into the driveway, and I parked. I went inside, and I said, "How much would you give me for a title loan?" And they said $1,000. I used my mind to create $1,000. Because I didn't give up. And I went back and I kept asking myself, how can I get this money so that I can get to this event, so that I can have a personal transformation, and so that I knew my business would grow exponentially after attending that event and getting around all those great minds and all those people that are like me that want to use a business online to create income for their family's future. And so that's what I did. And so tonight, the first thing I wanted to go over with you, if you look over here, it says these 5 weird brain tricks to help you overcome anything in your life. Trick number 1, how to overcome any phobia. What you do is very simple and very quick to overcome any phobia. Are you ready? Here's what you do. I'm going to take a sip of water really quick. So good. Here's what you do. Here's how you overcome any phobia. Let's say you have a fear of flying. Let's just go with a fear of flying. A lot of people have that fear of flying. What you do is you close your eyes and you imagine yourself. You imagine yourself sitting there being afraid of flying in an airplane. And you're looking at yourself and you're closing your eyes and you imagine how stupid you look being afraid to fly. Number 2, how to be happy. A lot of people nowadays with the economy and with the job situation, and there are a lot of people that are hurting. There are a lot of people that are out of work, and a lot of unhappy people. So how do you be happy? Number 1, you decide to be happy, because happiness is a decision. If you're not happy, it's because you decided to be unhappy. There is no external circumstance that can make you unhappy. If you're happy, it's because you made a decision to be happy. Because no matter what, you're going to have problems in life. I don't care if you're rich. I don't care if you're poor. I don't care if you're a CEO or if you're the lowest man on a totem pole. You're going to have problems. So you either decide to be happy during your problems or not happy. Brain trick for being happy. Imagine a time in your life. Imagine. It could be 2 weeks ago, it could be a month ago, it could be 5 years ago. Imagine a time in your life when you were really, really, really happy. And keep that moment, keep that image in your mind. Imagine what it sounded like, that happiness. What did it sound like? Did it sound like birds chirping under a tree, in an open field, away from it all? What did it look like? What was the picture of it? What was the image of that happiness? Was it a beach? Was it the blue ocean waves? What did it feel like, that happiness? What did it feel like? And what did it smell like? What did that happiness smell like? What are the aromas that were around you when you were in that happy moment? Was it your mom's cooking when you were a kid, or when you wake up on those Saturday mornings and you'd watch cartoons and you'd smell the smell of pancakes and eggs and bacon cooking, and you couldn't wait to sink your teeth into it, and your stomach was growling and you're just happy just to be a kid? Brain trick number 3, how to gain courage. Simple. Think of a time in your life when you had massive courage. For example, I took an NLP course. It was only a 2-week course, very short. It was like an introductory course. And at the end of the course, we got an opportunity. A group of us, we drove out to this place, this obstacle course, in just about 30 or 45 minutes outside of Dallas, Texas. And the last part of the obstacle course was there was this trapeze thing, and it was swinging back and forth, and each person had to wait for it to come to them. Then they had to actually reach out and jump and grab this bar thing, and then land on this soft inflatable thing at the bottom, and you're up kind of high. And so out of all the people, I was the only person that actually grabbed that bar and grabbed it and held on to it. And then I let go and I fell down to the bottom on the inflatable, whatever it was. I was the only person in the whole group of about 10 people. Everyone else just missed it, or they were scared, or I don't know what it was, but I was the only one. And so I just think back to that time when I had that courage, and I can draw from that power. I can draw from that courage, and I can always tap into courage. I can always have courage just by thinking back to that moment. Brain trick number 5, how to diffuse any intense argument. Now, if you see two people arguing, if you don't know those people, I would advise you not to go try to diffuse that argument because you might get a fist in your face. What I'm referring to is an argument with a spouse or a relative or something like that, someone that you know. And it doesn't even have to be an argument. It could just be a strong conversation. So how do you diffuse somebody that wants to argue back and forth with you? It's very easy. You ready? I'm going to share it with you. Don't say a word. Someone wants to argue with you back and forth about something. If you don't talk anymore, they have nothing to argue about or no one to argue with. They'll have to find another person to argue with because you have stopped talking. Period. And the next day, that person will forget all about whatever you guys were arguing about. Just stop talking. That's it. Now, let's get into how to create some massive wealth. Now, those 5 weird brain tricks that I just shared with you, you can also use those to create massive wealth. You can use those, you can use those to do different things. You can switch them around. Instead of overcoming a phobia, how about using it to find a job if you're into the job market, or create a business, figure out what business you want to get into, or think of a time when you had a successful business and do some of those things that you did during that successful business. How just thinking about it will make you richer. Well, what do I mean by this? How just thinking about using your mind to create massive riches, how does just thinking about it make you richer? Think and Grow Rich is a book that we are reading this week. And every morning we have this call and we go over a page or a chapter of Think and Grow Rich, an excerpt from the book. And there's about thousands of people on this call. And Paul, he reads the excerpt from the book, and then he goes into some details and explanations about it. But for someone to write a book, Napoleon Hill, called Think and Grow Rich, how you just think about things can make you richer. For example, anything that we do in our life, we had to think about it before we did it. Most of the time, we don't just do things. We think about them before we do them. And so if you're always thinking about becoming richer, if you're always thinking about growing, if you're always thinking about being bigger, if you're always thinking, if you hold your dreams and your goals in your mind and you have these visions and you hold those visions in your mind, you will eventually grow out of your current space. For example, let's say you work at McDonald's, or let's say you work at a furniture store, or let's say you work at Labor Ready or a place like that. And you're constantly, when you're working, you're not there. You're constantly thinking about not working. You're constantly thinking about how to have money working for you. You're constantly thinking about $1 giving birth to another dollar, giving birth to another dollar until you have $1 million. And that's what fills your mind, your work, what you're doing for your work. You're not there, you're there, but you're not there. Your mind is somewhere else. Your mind has traveled and imagined a different life, a different future. And so that's how just thinking about being bigger, thinking about being bigger than your space will make you richer. And not only richer financially, it'll make you richer in thought. It'll make you richer in actions. Because just we can think about it all we want. If we never take action, the thoughts will remain only thoughts. So not only do you think about it, you have to take action on those thoughts. And that's where you start to create the massive riches in your life. Why are you doing what you're doing in this very moment? Why are you here listening to the sound of my voice? Why are you listening to the sound of this webinar on your iPhone or your Android phone or your iPad, or maybe you're at home and you're listening on your desktop computer? Why are you doing what you are doing at this very moment? It is because you thought about it first. Think about that for a moment. Everything you do, let me help you put it into perspective here. Everything that you're doing or that you did today, you thought about it yesterday. Let me say that again. Everything that you're doing today, you thought about it yesterday. So whatever we think about, we eventually will do it. The very thing that we thought about yesterday, that is our future today. Amazing. Amazing. How to brainwash your mind into riches. There was a kid. He was riding with his mom. And they were approaching these huge mansions, these huge houses. And his mom said something to him that kind of hindered him for the rest of his life until he finally figured out what it was and he changed it. But what she said to him, he was about 8 years old. And you know, children, when they're at that age, they're very impressionable. The things that we say to our children when they're young, they have excellent memories and it sticks with them. And so his mom said, "Oh, those are rich people. They're not very nice and they're pretty mean people." And she said a couple of things about being rich and living in a big house. And so when this kid grew up and he saw another neighborhood with these huge mansions, these rich houses, he wouldn't act upon that, because in his mind, when he was 8 years old, riding in that car with his mom, a seed was planted that being rich is bad. Being rich is living in a big house is bad. And I think about the movie. It was called The Titanic. And in that movie, there was a scene where there was a girl, and this is with the rich people on, you know, the rich people are eating off gold and silver. And the girl did something wrong at the dinner table. Her knife or something like that was in the wrong place, and she just got laid out from her mom by her mom for just something being out of place. And so even in the movies, we are subconsciously being told that being rich is bad and being broke is good, because Leonardo DiCaprio and the other lady, they were down below deck with the poor people, and they were dancing and they're having fun and they're dancing around and they're just having a good time being poor. And so what does that say to the watcher, the person that's watching the movie? Being rich is bad and being poor is good. And so when it comes to brainwashing your mind into riches, what I mean by brainwashing is when as we're growing up, we have all this junk, all this crap in our minds, and all these self-limiting beliefs that have been instilled inside of us into our unconscious mind, whether it be on purpose or on accident. Now, I'm pretty sure that the little boy, when he was riding with his mom and as he was 8 years old, I'm pretty sure it wasn't her intention to instill in his mind that rich people are bad. And so what he had to do was brainwash his mind into thinking and to knowing that it's not bad to be rich or wealthy or to live in a mansion. And so every day I listen to these inner circle audios in our company. I have a link in the side of this video or the video description. I'll probably have a link. If not, you can contact me and I can show you how to get these audios. But there's these inner circle audios, and every person on these audios, they're all millionaires online. And so the more you listen to people that are millionaires online, the more you start to develop their language patterns and their speech patterns, because they speak in a certain way, and they articulate their words in a certain way, and they speak with a certain passion. And see, when you listen to these inner circle audios every single day, like I do, it's kind of a brainwashing. You're taking all the garbage that was programmed into your mind growing up about getting a job and going to school and working a job all of your life and buying one house and living in it until you die, instead of purchasing, let's say, an apartment building and using it, or 10 apartment buildings and 10 houses. We're brainwashing into buying that one house and going into debt until we die. And so that's what I mean by brainwashing your mind into riches, getting all the junk and the crap out of our minds that we've been taught, and implementing a different language, implementing different programs in our mind, because our minds are like computers, and our minds are constantly adding files and deleting files. And so what we have to do, we have to start adding different files, new files that'll help us create massive riches, instead of the files that we have in our files that we have that, oh, my dad wasn't rich, so I'm not going to be rich. Or, oh, my mom, she never had a business, so I shouldn't have a business. Or my brother, he failed at all of his businesses, so I'm probably going to fail at all of my businesses. Or, oh, I'll never be rich. That's for those guys. That's for those people. They were born with a spoon in their mouth. They have better opportunities than I do. All of this stuff, all of this crap that's in our minds, it makes us believe that we don't deserve to be rich or wealthy, and it's not always financial riches. Sometimes a lot of times it's being able to give to others, being able to help the poor. How about that aspect of being rich? How about the philanthropic aspect of being rich? Being able to help other people. And so that concludes this 27th episode of Gurus in Training. My name is Barry J. Solomon, and I thank you for joining me on this Friday night, and I thank you for tuning in. If you missed it, if you missed this hangout, I will post a replay. I will send it out to people that are on my list. If you're not on my list, if you're not on my subscriber list, if you don't get my newsletter every week, I'll either have a a link at the in the video description, or there'll be a link somewhere on my blog, or I have a link somewhere where you can actually get on my list and start getting notifications. And whenever I do a webinar, I'll send you an email, and after it's over, I'll send you the replay link. So if you miss it, don't worry, I will send you the replay. It'll be on my YouTube channel. You'll be able to get the information. So I hope you guys learned something tonight. I hope this was of value to you. I hope that you took notes, and that you can take away something, and that you learned something that you didn't know tonight, even if it's just one little thing. Even if it's just one little thing that you learned, I hope that it has been valuable to you. For example, I was on a call last week, and it was about almost an hour call, and the one thing that I got out of that call was this that I'm about to tell you. Pray as though everything depends on God. Act as though everything depends on you. Oh, that was so powerful. That was so powerful. I never forget that. And so that was that one thing. If it was just one thing that you learned from tonight, just one, my job is done. My job was done. Mission accomplished. Barry J. Solomon, once again, thank you for tuning in on this Friday, December 19th. Gurus in Training, episode 27, using my mind to create massive riches. So my charge to you is to use your mind and go out there and create the life that you deserve. Go out there and create the massive riches that you deserve. And it doesn't matter if you're a single mom, and it doesn't matter that you work at Walmart. It doesn't matter that you work at a hotel. It doesn't matter that you make minimum wage. It doesn't matter that you're a millionaire right now and you're just looking for ways to create other streams of income. It doesn't matter if you're a CEO. It doesn't matter if you're a drug addict. It doesn't matter if you're gay, if you're straight, or if you're black, or if you're white. My charge is for you to go out there, use your mind, create massive riches, and not only use your mind, take massive action and create the life that you deserve. Create the life that your mom deserves. Create the life that your kids deserve. I am my mom's retirement, because Social Security is going to be dead by the time she's eligible to receive it. Barry J. Solomon, signing off. Go make it happen for your children. Go make it happen for your family. Go make it happen for you, because you deserve to use your mind to create massive riches. See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Love. Long live the Republic.